Hi, I'm Lizanne. I'm here to introduce you to a program that I wrote. It's called The Art of Letting Go. I'm outside today. It's beautiful. So if you find yourself a nice place to sit and relax, this should be fun. This first class is going to involve some painting. So I have things set up behind me and I'll go through that with you. So I wanted to read you a little bit about what I wrote about this course. So we'll start with that. So it's not just any course. It will introduce you to a different way of living. As we go through this course, the 8 sessions, it seems to open up doors that we close along the way as we get older and busy. Some things we wanted to do that we put aside, put in the drawer, and this kind of helps open up all of those things and helps you look at your life in a different way. And this is intuitive art therapy. Most of these teachings I received from elders and from my own spiritual awakening. And so I have a mission statement to read to you. I also receive most of these sessions in dream time, which is pretty cool. So the mission statement is: intuitive art will be used as a positive tool for working on insight, self-esteem, anger management, trauma-related anxiety. My goal here is to help you self-develop your growth, your intuition, your understanding in yourself, and how to better deal with situations. We're going to explore different types of art media. So I included painting, drawing, clay, charcoal, and other things. So the expectation here is to be creative and not be perfect. So try to leave aside your ideas of perfectionists. We're just going to have some fun. So I have a couple testimonials. One of them is I have participated in a very intuitive Golden Journey art program. Neurobiologically, the integration of motor, kinesthetics, emotional, visual, and perceptual modalities lends itself to be the purpose of the program, specifically personal growth and development of well-being. I have witnessed the immediate effects on the participants ranging from cathartic expression of deep-seated trauma to elated sense of play in somber individuals. Miss LeClaire allows participants to speak unhinged in an atmosphere of warmth and acceptance. This program can be applied to a wide array of individuals experiencing difficulty ranging from employment or life stress to grief, loss, and can be enjoyed by those who value artistic expression. That was Joanne Trevege who gave me that testimonial. So that I have many, but we'll start with our first session. So art is a very personal, not to be judged by anyone. It's your personal expression. The colors, you can look at the psychological color wheel. However, I don't really base myself on that because colors mean things to different people. For example, I had a young man who did anger painting, and his painting was blue skies, sunshine, trees, water, grass, beautiful. But he is it's a picture that represented his anger. So it's a very individual. So this first session is going to be talking about self-esteem. So So why take this course? What's in it for you? It's I do not need to be an artist, nor it's not a technique class either. I can complete my project at home. Well, obviously we're online, and I'll learn about self-growth, self-trust, and empower myself, and I'll learn to accept and attract positive energy. I'm spiritual, strong, worthy of love, and I can heal myself. I am what I am. Every person in this room is meant to be here. Thank you, Creator. So I like to use intuitive art therapy as a way of releasing and redirecting human emotion. And that's what I like about this. So since the beginning of time, we've always used expression of art. Humans use that, have been using that since the beginning of time, with music, words, painting, dance, different things. So it's nothing new. So we're going to start with the first session. I like to start it with a quote. Love is the basic need of human nature. Without it, life is disrupted emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. So we're going to talk about self-esteem in this section. So I'll give you some examples of poor self-esteem and what you would see in a person. So that would be a lack of self-confidence, some depression and loneliness, and bad relationships. Lack of motivation, afraid of making changes, and lack of assertiveness. So always trying to avoid confrontation. So I like to talk about the famous negative tape, which plays in your brain. So your brain is a very complicated machine, which has 1 trillion processes all at once. So it's really hard to know what's going on in your own mind. A lot of things are automatic. And one of the processes that your brain uses is kind of like a tape player. Well, we used to have tapes when we were young. So what happens is that you record a situation, your mind records it, records how you behaved at that time, and saves it. So if in the future you run into a similar situation, what we call triggers, then all of a sudden the tape plays and you have no choice in the matter. The tape is playing and that's the way you're going to react. Also, since birth, you've been placed into a system with beliefs that have been imposed on you, and those beliefs keep playing as well on your tape. And a lot of people don't notice this is going on, so there's lots of negative talk going on in your mind. When you want to try something new, you're all excited to do it, for example, but when the moment comes, you shy away from it, and you don't know why. And it could be because that tape is playing, and you're just listening to what people told you. You can't do that, you're not smart enough, those kinds of things. And we don't really notice that's going on until we take a look at why we didn't proceed with what we wanted to try that was new. And then you go back and try to analyze what's going on in your mind. And the more you do that, then you'll start to hear that tape. And that's the tape that you want to change. And it's been there since childhood. So it's been there and building for a very, very long time. And so it takes a very, very long time to change that. So don't be hard on yourself if you can't change the reactions that you have out of trauma or things like that. But just try to understand them and try to understand the trigger. And that's the way you start to change things. So your brain has no idea between positive and negative ways of dealing with situations. It just does. So it doesn't think. It just reacts. Your brain is so busy doing other things it doesn't have time to decide, is this a bad way to react? It's just automatic. So this is what we want to work on, is this tape in this session. So to change the tape, one of the ways that I used was what I'm going to show you today, which is painting and using positive words and thinking about positive things about yourself that you already know. The more importantly is the things that people say about you that are positive, that you just say, oh yeah, oh okay, thanks, and you walk away and you don't believe it, you don't bring it into your field, you just ignore it, and just say, well, they must want something or something like that. But usually people who take the time to say something great about you, they actually mean it. So you should try to be internalizing that. So we're going to work on that as well. So we're going to work on changing that tape. So everybody knows about the power by now. Most people know about the power of positive affirmation and how to bring things into your life that you like, to talk about them like they already exist, to not have any negative things attached to what you want to do. Even if it doesn't happen in the timing that you expect, there's divine timing also in play. So there's two ways in this session to work on this. Second way is a gratitude journal. Lots of people, the counselors, will have you write journals about your feelings, and most of the time they ask you to do that when you've been in trauma or loss or grief, and you're writing down the negative things, thoughts and ideas that you've had. And I find that doing that and then going back to read that is very draining, very difficult, because our brains, our mind will divide things into compartments, so that they're not all mixed up together at one time. So if you had a trauma, then you had a loss, then you had some grief, and then another trauma, those are all in separate containers. And if you're going to journal them all at once, that could be very difficult on your psyche, because your mind puts those things away until you're ready to speak about them. And if you're forcing that out onto a journal, that it could be very difficult. I remember doing that once, and I was a mess for days, and I couldn't see anyone for, I had to wait for my next appointment. So that was not good at all. So I really prefer the gratitude journal. So you start a journal, and every day you put in what made you smile. As soon as you get up, maybe you heard the birds sing in the morning, or you got out of bed and you didn't feel sad. Little things, I don't know, like spring is coming, so maybe you're going to see some nice grass out there right now, nice green grass and fresh air, and you can be out in nature, in the bush, and it's great. So those kinds of things, you just, write them down. Somebody told you that they loved you today. Just simple positive things. It could really, really help. So those are the two things that I wanted to talk about today. So the places you can find information on affirmations and changing this tape, I really like Louise Hay, and most people know about her, and the kind of affirmation she uses that are really powerful is, I'm in the right place, the right time, doing the right thing. You're the only person who thinks in your mind. You're the power and the authority in your world. Nobody else. You make your boundaries. All is perfect, whole, and complete. I no longer choose to believe in old limitations. So you can do anything you want, really. And here's some more examples of affirmations you could use. I release old hurt, anger, and resentment easily. So don't let things get stuck in your heart center. It's not good for you. Feel them, accept them, put them down, and, keep going. I choose to live the way that makes me happy, and I'm free. So, time goes by so fast, and we're always doing things for other people. Make sure that you have room for yourself and what makes you happy, and do that. I release the need to be right all the time and judge others, and I am free. I choose to be in touch with my own needs and desires. I release the need to please others. So, you know, you can feel free to write your own affirmations, but those are some really, really good ones. So what we're going to do, I have a canvas behind me, and so I got a canvas, I bought some paints, so just acrylic. Acrylic is so forgiving, like if you make a mistake, you just paint over it, it's no big deal. I bought some paintbrushes, permanent marker, some bigger brushes to do the background, some palettes just to put paint on. So what we're going to do is we're going to think about what we're going to do is we're going to make this board. So you might want to make it something, some colors that you like, colors that you have in your bedroom specifically, because one of the great things to do with this is to hang it in your bedroom, hang it on your bedroom wall, and you look at it every morning and read it before you put your feet on the ground, because what you want to do is retrain your mind. So when people, for example, when people want to quit smoking, usually the doctors will tell them, well, you know, reduce your number of cigarettes a day and don't smoke them at the same time as you usually smoke them. So if you're one to get up in the morning, go outside, have a smoke, don't do that. Wait a little while. Go have a smoke at 11 or something like that, or a few hours after you're up, just to change the pattern, what you're used to, because your brain is giving you that pattern. Oh, it's time for smoke. Oh, because you're always doing everything regularly, like breakfast, lunch, dinner at certain times and things like that. So I just got a canvas here, plain canvas, and I'm going to paint the background, colors that I like. I chose some spring colors because it's spring, but you can choose any color. And what you want to do is, first of all, make a background of some kind, and you can make a painting if you like, but we're going to be, after that, we're going to be writing down words that we want to put on this canvas. So positive words about ourselves, and especially the ones, like I said, of other people that have told you something positive about you. You're going to put that on this canvas. I did have a session once where there was a young man who took 45 minutes in front of his canvas once the background was done, and he couldn't find one word to put down. He was probably about 16 years old. It was very, very sad, but he didn't want to quit. He said, this is important, I need to do this. There must be something positive about me. He got nauseous, he got anxious, he had to go to the washroom, he'd come back. And I told him, you don't have to continue, and no, this is very important, I need to do it. So he came back, and the only word he could write was trust. He said that he was a trustworthy person, and that was all he could find to put on that board. So that was a difficult session, but he did finally find something. He had not a very good family life, and so it was very hard for him to find something positive to say about himself. And when you live life like that, always hard on yourself, critical of yourself, it's very hard to move forward. So this project can help with that. In the morning before you get up, read those words, then put your feet on the ground. And in about a month or two, you make another board, and you'll notice the boards change, and the words that you have put on this board have integrated with you, and you will have new ones to add, and those will integrate, and so on, until you already believe all those things about yourself, and you don't need to make any more boards. But so I'm gonna start here. So I also just have acrylic paint, so you need acrylic paint, paintbrushes, some water, something to put your paint on, some permanent markers so that you can draw the words on. So I'm going to just do this quickly because this video will get long and it's already 20 minutes. So I just wet my brush, and I'm just going to start with the background. This would be so much better if we could be in person talking in a class, but you just have to listen to me talk. So I'm going to put on some blue, baby blue. So I'm just painting away the background. some baby blue. Or the sky. So positive words, if you can't think of some, what I did was go on Google and look up positive words for each letter of the alphabet. So there are words that you can write down for yourself. So for example, the A's, I have able, accepting, active, admirable, adorable, accountable, accomplished, adventurer, agile, alert, affectionate, things like that. And for B, I have benevolent, beauty, beloved, blessed, balanced. So that kind of thing you can find on the internet. So for C, I have caring, calm, creative, capable, committed, competent, cute. For D, I have delicate, decent, desirable, and some funny ones like delicious and divine. We all are divine beings. For E, I have empath, energetic, engaging, what else do I have? Exhilarating, enthusiastic, exuberant, enchanted, and for F's I have fantastic, fair, family, oriented, and for G's I have gorgeous, generous, graceful. For H I have happiness, heart, a big heart, honest, a hero, humble, hopeful. And for I have an inspiration, intuitive, involved, integrity. And for J, I have joyful, just. K, I have kindness, of course, knowledgeable. L's, I have loyal, lovable, lucky, leader, logical. And for M's, I have magnificent, marvelous, mature, mellow, mindful, modest. And for N's, I have nurturing, nice, and noble. For O's, I have optimistic, understanding, oriented, open-hearted, and then I have I put down Om Mani Padme Hum, which is an affirmation to bring you abundance. And for P's, I have perfect, passionate, positive, proactive. For Q's, I have quiet and quaint, and R's, I have respectful, remarkable, and S, I have sacred, safe, skillful, stable, supportive, sexy. For T, I have a teacher, traditional, tranquil, trust, truth, transformative. And for U, I have unique, uplifting, ultimate, unconditional, understanding. For V, I have valuable, valid, virtuous. And for W, I have worthiness, wealth, warm, wisdom, wise, wholeheartedness, and I put wow. And X, I have just an XO, so some love. And Y, I have youthful. And Z, I have zeal and zest for life. So those are the kinds of words you can think of. So just write them on a paper somewhere, so that after you're done your background, then you can put in your words. So I'm going to just work on this background here. And you know, it doesn't need to be perfect, as you can see. Just go with how you're feeling, like your emotions. So maybe I'll make some little wavy things for the wind, maybe coming. The wind is very healing, I find. And I'm going to put some green. Some green for the grass. Nice grass. So we're just doing the background. You can make a painting on it or not. It could just be a background. And if the colors mix, that's okay too. You want the colors to mix. So there's my grass. And then I'm going to put a bit of yellow for the sun. So some yellow. Then you just want to make sure you cover the whole canvas. And you don't want to make it too thick because we're going to write on top of it. So like I said, also you can be thinking about things that make you happy, if that made you happy today. You write them in a journal, gratitude journal. Think about it as you paint your background. I'm going to put a bit of purple because I like purple and it might represent some flowers. So I'm going to put some purple here. It looks kind of like Easter also. So there's my background. And then you can spice it up. You know, do what you like. You can add some little grass here. I'll let that dry a little bit. And I'm going to take out some smaller paintbrushes here. So like this is not a painting class, so technique is not important. So I'm going to make myself some little flowers. You know, when I was in primary school, the teachers used to tell me that I couldn't paint, that I didn't have any talent for art. Well, I don't know why art teachers say that. It's, you know, art is very individual, and if you've been to a museum, you would see that very different kinds of things there. I'm going to put a few little blue flowers. Oh, it looks like lilies. I think the spring makes me happy, so this will be good for my room. Like I said, it's very forgiving, so if you make a mistake, you just paint over it. Acrylic paint is really inexpensive and very forgiving, so I bought this stuff at the dollar store, so I didn't spend a fortune on it. So there's some flowers. I don't know if you can see that. So now I'm just going to use the back of my board, and I'm going to think of some words that I want to write. Actually, I got it here. I'm going to use paper. So, here's some things that I can think of to write. I'm going to use these permanent markers, but first I'm going to write the words on a paper so I don't make a mistake. So I'm going to, let's see, what should I say about myself? I think I'm pretty brave. So I'm going to write brave because I left Sudbury to a new job in Hong Kong, and I don't have a home here, so I'm kind of traveling back and forth and just following where Creator wants me to be. So that's kind of a brave thing to do, especially in these times. I'm going to say pretty. People say I'm pretty, and some days I feel pretty, and some days, I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm getting old or something, and gained weight. So those are the kinds of things that run through like that tape, right? You know, we're always judging ourselves. So I'm going to put pretty here because people say so. And so I should be able to accept that. Well, I know I'm intuitive, so I'm going to put that. And I'm pretty creative. I'm pretty spontaneous. I don't know if I know how to spell that, but we'll check it out. So if there's words you don't know how to spell, just look them up. Spontaneous. I think sometimes I'm funny. I try to be generous, so I'm going to put that. Maybe caring, because I do lots of volunteer work for my brother's shelter in Sudbury. No, this isn't so easy. What else can I put? Oh, spiritual. I do lots of ceremony and meditation and things like that. What else can I say? So you get the idea. So I'm writing down words here that I want to put on my board. So when I wake up in the morning, before I step out of bed, I want to read these and I want them to integrate with me. And that's how I'm going to change that tape, that negative self-talk, the things that hold me back. I don't know what else to put. I'm going to start with that. So you can start with a few and then more will come to you. So what you're going to do now is once your background has dried, this is my background, you're just going to start writing in the words. So you write it anywhere on the painting. So I'm going to put brave. I like to use permanent marker. It's easier. You can paint on the words, but it's not so nice. My handwriting's okay. You see how that process went? I'm criticizing my handwriting. Brave. I think, no, I'm going to put pretty down here because these flowers are pretty too. Pretty. And I think this purple, it could represent caring. It's that purple flame. And doing Reiki and things like that, we often use that energy. And yellow. Yellow is spiritual. It that color is connected to your spiritual growth. So we'll put that there. Generous. Generous here. I'm going to put creative, but you know what? I want to write it this way. Just to be creative. Funny. Funny. I think that's all the words I put in there. Brave, I got it. Pretty, I got it. Oh, intuitive, I don't have. I'll put that here. Intuitive, creative, generous, caring. Oh, caring. Caring. Oh yeah, I did put caring. Spontaneous. Where should I put that? Spontaneous. And I'm gonna put a little thing here. Okay, I got that. I got funny and I got spiritual. So there is my board. Oh, I think I'm gonna put mom, a good mom. I try to be a good mother. See, there's that tape again. Who's judging that? Oh, so I'm gonna put it here. Mother. So I have 4 children and a stepson, and 2 grandchildren from my stepson. I don't know what else to put. So that is the project for this session. It's to help you with your self-esteem. It doesn't take too long to dry. Of course, I'm outside and it's nice and windy, and so it's drying quickly. All this stuff I got at the dollar store, so it wasn't very expensive. So I can talk to you about a bit about the journal now. So the journal, the gratitude journal, what you usually do is you can write the date at the top of the page, so you know which date you're writing. Later on, write the word breath and your word of the day. So you're going to write the date and take a deep breath. Okay. And then you're going to write the word of the day. What's the word of the day? What is the word you're going to use today? You're going to try and use one of these words. Maybe you're going to compliment people. You say, oh, you look lovely today. You're so caring. Start to practice telling people how you feel about them instead of just thinking it, just putting it out there. It really helps with their tape as well. And then you just kind of let your thoughts and feelings come to you when you're about to write in your journal. So you want to get calm before you write. So it's kind of like getting into the water. You get calm, centered, breathe. And then when you're ready, you just go as deep as you want in your journal. And you kind of, float around like you're in the water and check out how you feel. Check out all of your body, if you have any aches or pains or sadness or happiness, or just kind of see how you feel and start jotting down some things that make you feel better, that make you happy, things that you're going to want to do today. And if you can't get to it today, you can get to it tomorrow. And then even write down your experience of just taking that moment to yourself. Before you get out of bed, you're going to read that painting you just made, that beautiful artwork, and then you're going to take a breath, write in your journal. Maybe you had a good dream, and you're going to think about how that feels to just take a moment to yourself before you get up for the craziness of the day that you have ahead of you. And then, at the end of your journal that day, you just write a couple sentences, some thoughts that you have. And then you can write down, oh, I was aware of this today. That's good, because some things we just skip over, like the small things in life. So, and then you can write down what was important to you today. What was the best part of your day today? Just write that down. Let's see what other information I can give you. I have all these notes here. Oh yes, in your gratitude journal, you don't only have to write. You can draw paintings, pictures. You can make little doodles as well. You can stick things in it too. If you got something from a friend or you found a flower outside, and you can dry it, stick it to it. So this canvas that we made, it's like a container for your emotions and what you're uncomfortable in accepting of yourself. So that's pretty neat. Yeah, so I guess that's about it for this session. I hope you enjoyed it. I have next session next week will be on relieving stress. And in that session, if you want to get things ready for it, I'll tell you what you need. So it will be a session on sacred geometry. We're going to use sacred geometry. So if you have a geometry set, that would be cool. And a ruler and some pencils. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a mandala, and then we're going to analyze that. And we're going to talk about sacred geometry and how that came about and how that's related to you and how you think. And once you're done the mandala, you'll be able to go back and see yourself in the mandala, which is really neat. And you can even color that mandala. So if you want to get some pencils, markers ready also. So I would say pencil, eraser, geometry set, ruler, I forget what that thing is called, to make circles, or even a plate or something round would be helpful. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Miigwech.